3 secret signs a woman has a hidden crush on you. Female psychology. Have you ever wondered if a woman secretly likes you, but is trying her best not to show it? Unlike what movies often portray, attraction isn't always obvious. Many women hide their feelings because they fear rejection, want to remain professional, are naturally shy, or simply prefer to see if you're genuinely interested before revealing their emotions. Female psychology often emphasizes subtle communication. Instead of openly saying, "I like you," a woman may express her interest through small, repeated behaviors that reveal more than words ever could. The key isn't to focus on a single action. Anyone can smile once or make accidental eye contact. What matters is noticing consistent patterns over time. Let's explore 3 of the strongest hidden signs that may suggest she's developing feelings for you. Sign #1, she finds small reasons to stay connected. One of the strongest indicators of hidden attraction is when a woman consistently creates opportunities to interact with you, even when she doesn't have a practical reason to do so. Psychologists often refer to this as proximity seeking. Humans naturally spend more time around people they enjoy. When attraction is involved, this behavior becomes even more noticeable, although it remains subtle. She may send you a message about something that could have easily been ignored. She asks questions she could have answered herself. She walks past your desk a little more often than necessary. She joins conversations you're already having. She remembers tiny details from previous discussions and brings them up later. None of these actions alone prove romantic interest. However, when they happen repeatedly, they suggest that spending time with you has become rewarding for her emotionally. Interestingly, women who are hiding their feelings often avoid obvious flirting. Instead, they maintain what appears to be perfectly normal communication while quietly increasing the frequency of your interactions. For example, she might ask how your weekend was on Monday. A few days later, she follows up by asking how your project is going. Next week, she sends you a funny meme related to something you discussed days earlier. From the outside, everything looks casual. But underneath, she's creating emotional continuity. This is an important psychological difference. Someone who is simply being polite usually interacts only when necessary. Someone who secretly likes you often creates unnecessary opportunities to reconnect. She isn't necessarily trying to confess her feelings. She's trying to stay present in your life. Another clue is her memory. People naturally remember information connected to someone they emotionally value. If she recalls your favorite coffee, remembers your birthday, asks about an interview you mentioned weeks ago, or brings up a story you casually shared, it often means she pays closer attention to you than she does to most people. This attention isn't forced. It's automatic because emotional interest increases cognitive focus. However, context matters. Some people are naturally friendly and attentive toward everyone. That's why you should compare how she behaves with you versus how she behaves with others. Does she initiate more conversations with you? Does she laugh more around you? Does she seem genuinely disappointed when your conversations end? If the answer is consistently yes, her behavior may be revealing feelings she's trying to hide. Sign #2, her body language changes around you. Words can be carefully controlled. Body language is much harder to manage. Even confident people unintentionally reveal their emotions through subtle physical behaviors. When a woman secretly likes someone, her body often becomes more expressive before she consciously realizes it. One of the biggest indicators is eye contact. She may glance at you across the room. When you notice, she quickly looks away. Later, she looks again. This repeated cycle happens because attraction naturally draws attention, while shyness encourages avoidance. Another common behavior is smiling differently. Not every smile is equal. A genuine smile reaches the eyes, softens facial muscles, and appears naturally rather than feeling forced. If her face consistently brightens the moment she sees you, that's often a meaningful emotional response. Pay attention to her posture as well. People tend to orient their bodies toward individuals they are interested in. Even during group conversations, her feet, shoulders, or torso may subtly face you. These unconscious adjustments often happen without deliberate intention. You may also notice nervous behaviors. She plays with her hair. She adjusts her jewelry. She smooths her clothing. She fidgets with objects while talking to you. These actions don't automatically mean attraction, but nervous excitement frequently increases self-awareness, causing people to engage in small self-touch gestures. Her voice may also change. Research has shown that people sometimes unconsciously adjust their tone, speaking pace, or energy level around someone they find attractive. She may become softer. She may laugh more. She may speak more enthusiastically than she does with others. Another interesting sign involves personal space. Most people maintain a comfortable social distance. Someone experiencing attraction may gradually reduce that distance without realizing it. She stands slightly closer. She leans in when you speak. She doesn't immediately step back after the conversation ends. These subtle movements indicate comfort and emotional engagement. However, avoid assuming that every body language cue means romantic interest. Some personalities are naturally expressive. The real clue comes when multiple signals consistently appear together. Frequent eye contact, warm smiles, relaxed posture, leaning closer, finding excuses to remain nearby. When several of these behaviors occur repeatedly over time, they create a much stronger psychological pattern than any single gesture alone. Sign #3, she invests emotionally in your life. One of the strongest, but often overlooked, signs of hidden attraction is emotional investment. When a woman secretly has a crush on someone, she naturally becomes curious about his life. She wants to understand who he is beyond surface-level conversations. Instead of asking only basic questions, she begins exploring topics that reveal your personality. She asks about your hobbies. She remembers stories about your family. She wants to know your future goals. She asks how your day went and genuinely listens to the answer. The important part isn't simply asking questions. It's what she does with the information afterward. Maybe you mentioned an important presentation at work. A few days later she asks, "So, how did it go?" Perhaps you told her your favorite football team. Weeks later, she remembers the result of their latest match. Or maybe you casually mentioned that your dog wasn't feeling well. The next time you talk, she asks if your dog is doing better. These moments may seem small, but psychologically they reveal selective attention. People naturally remember information connected to someone they care about emotionally. That's because emotional interest improves memory and increases attention to personal details. Another powerful sign is that she celebrates your successes. When good news happens, she appears genuinely happy for you. Your promotion, your fitness progress, your new project, your vacation. Instead of changing the subject, she wants to hear more. She asks follow-up questions. She encourages you. She shares your excitement. This isn't the same as ordinary politeness. It's emotional participation. Likewise, when something difficult happens in your life, she notices. She asks if you're okay. She checks in later. She hopes things improve. People who secretly like someone often become emotionally affected by that person's emotional state. Notice whether she supports you during stressful moments. Does she offer encouragement? Does she send a thoughtful message? Does she remember challenges you've mentioned before? These behaviors often reveal emotional investment that extends beyond casual friendship. Another interesting psychological clue is her reaction to your attention. Suppose you're talking with another woman. Does she suddenly become quieter? Does she try to join the conversation? Does her mood seem to change slightly? This doesn't necessarily mean jealousy in a dramatic sense. Rather, it may reflect concern about losing your attention. However, this is an area where many people jump to conclusions. Everyone experiences emotions differently, and changes in mood can have many unrelated causes. That's why it's important to avoid assuming romantic interest based on one isolated situation. Instead, look for patterns that repeat over time. Consistent curiosity, emotional support, remembering details, wanting to stay connected, positive reactions when you're together. These combined behaviors create a much stronger picture than any single sign ever could. The biggest mistake most men make. Many men make the mistake of searching for one magic signal that guarantees attraction. Human psychology doesn't work that way. There is no smile, no glance, no compliment, no text message that automatically proves romantic feelings. Healthy relationships are built on communication and mutual interest, not mind reading. Another common mistake is confirmation bias. This happens when someone notices only the behaviors that support what they already hope is true, while ignoring evidence that points in another direction. For example, she smiled once. She laughed at one joke. She liked one social media post. If you already believe she likes you, these moments may seem incredibly meaningful. But individually, they don't tell the whole story. Instead, ask yourself a better question. Is there a consistent pattern over time? Does she regularly initiate conversations? Does she consistently seem excited to see you? Does she remember personal details? Does she make an effort to stay connected? The more independent signals that appear together over weeks or months, the more meaningful they become. Even then, attraction is never something you can know with complete certainty just by observing behavior. The only reliable way to know whether feelings are mutual is through respectful communication. Hidden attraction is usually subtle rather than dramatic. A woman who secretly has a crush on you may never openly confess her feelings. Instead, her emotions often appear through consistent actions. She creates opportunities to talk. Her body language changes around you. She becomes emotionally invested in your life and remembers the little things that matter to you. None of these behaviors guarantee romantic interest on their own. People are complex, personalities differ, and context always matters. The healthiest approach is to notice patterns instead of isolated moments, and to avoid making assumptions based solely on body language or psychology. If you believe there may be mutual interest, focus on building trust, showing genuine respect, and communicating honestly. Whether the connection grows into friendship or something more, treating the other person with kindness and understanding creates the best foundation for any relationship. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights into female psychology, dating dynamics, and the subtle science behind human attraction. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.